Also new tonight at 10 o'clock, a small cemetery in Douglas has become a big problem, and it has many people across the state wanting change. Some people who recently lost loved ones tell the News 4 Tucson investigators there's no records of plots they reserved decades ago. It's just one of several issues we're finding out. Our chief investigative reporter, Corus Nylander, searches for answers in tonight's News 4 Tucson investigation.
This is the Julia Page Memorial Cemetery here in Douglas. People who have loved ones buried here tell the News 4 Tucson investigators they've found issues with record keeping, missing headstones, and a lot of maintenance issues here. But the biggest mystery, who's running it right now?
People die, they should be buried with dignity.
This Tucson woman's family was devastated after the sudden death of a family member. She doesn't want to be identified in fear of retaliation, but tells the News 4 Tucson investigators much of her family has been buried here at the Julia Page Memorial Cemetery in Douglas. This relative had long had a plot reserved to be near his wife, only to find out there was no record of it.
We have plot A, B, and C, and so the A, B, and C do not match up to the right family members.
And they found there's nobody returning calls with answers or anyone with information on burial services here, but that didn't stop them from laying their loved one to rest.
Dug a hole and buried him there on top of his wife. So I don't even know if that's legal, to tell you the truth. But my family did it because we needed to have peace.
The cemetery also has missing headstones and almost zero maintenance, loved ones taking it upon themselves to clean things up. Luis Ortega has lived across the street for 15 years, and he's fed up.
Yeah, weeds and papers and trash and everything is bad.
The upkeep has been so poor, Douglas Mayor Donald Hewish says the property has faced code violations.
There's been code violations for overgrowth in vegetation, and the city volunteers came together out of the goodness of their hearts and went through one Saturday and cleaned up the property to bring it back into compliance.
So who owns this cemetery? The News 4 Tucson investigators learned it was within the Page family for decades, but the owner passed away more than a decade ago, and it passed on to his wife, Julia Page. I spoke to Julia over the phone. She refused to do an interview, but said she is too old to take care of the property now and donated it to the local Catholic churches. Sending me a text reading, quote, "The Tucson Diocese and Phoenix Diocese have experienced people that know how to operate a cemetery. Churches and municipalities are given more leeway as it pertains to selling plots. I made a decision back in April. I welcome the opportunity to hear from the church." We reached out to the Tucson Diocese, which represents the Douglas churches. They sent us a statement reading, quote, "Unbeknownst to the St. Luke's Catholic Church and Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, the owner of the cemetery quitclaim deeded the cemetery to the two parishes. There was never an agreement to accept the property. The parishes have been in the process of rejecting the transfer." Mayor Hewish says the city is willing to help if they can figure out a true owner.
The situation has increased it's to the point of becoming dire.
This leaves people like this grieving woman with few answers.
I just don't want to see other people go through what we've gone through, and it's just a painful time when you lose your loved one.
The folks we spoke to very concerned about this and hope the deed situation can be taken care of quickly. If you have a story you'd like us to investigate, email us at investigators@KVOA.com or call our tip line at 520-955-4444. Reporting from Douglas, Corus Nylander, News 4 Tucson.